Welcome to the show. Good evening, welcome to the show. And tonight there's a lot of politics in the studio. That's why we began with that video. We'll be doing a lot of that in this election season. Our constituency watch will be beginning in a few weeks. We'll be all over the constituencies. Welcome to the show. Tonight we have an exclusive interview that we can't wait for it. We can't wait for it. Kwabena Agyei-Agyapong, the NPP stalwart, is joining us in the studio for the main part of the show. What's the time now? It's 9:25 now. We asked him to come here about 9:30, but I think we'll start the interview with Kwabena Agyei-Agyapong at 10 o'clock. So tell all your friends that at 10 o'clock Kwabena Agyei-Agyapong will be live. Before we get to Kwabena Agyei-Agyapong, we will bring you information on the comments on our flyer. And then the LI, the legislative instrument that has been withdrawn before Parliament. Everybody is sending me those videos, the videos in Parliament. Now, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, the Member of Parliament, North Tongue constituency, it's about him, you see, because everyone is sending me a video based on a post that Samuel Okudzeto has made on social media. He made a post on social media about the LI and indicated that he's happy that the LI has been withdrawn. He's happy that it's a bad LI, that MPs want sirens, that they don't deserve it, blah, blah, blah. So people are sending me video that what is Samuel Okudzeto talking about? He was sitting there. He was the one telling Dominic Ayine what to say and what to add. And he was sitting right there when Dominic Ayine, the chairman of the committee, now, this is subsidiary legislation. It's one of the committees that is chaired by the minority. So the subsidiary legislation chairman and vice chairman are both members of the NDC. Now the full story is coming. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that in a minute and show you the video and show you a Blackwest post, and then you can make your own decision about some of these politicians. Also, after that, there will be sports. Yesterday, we were at Accra Sports Stadium when Fantabulous Kumasi Asante Kotoko beat Accra Hearts by 2-1 to lift the first edition of the Democracy Cup. All in all, it was a great event. Congratulations to the Ministry of Sport, the Ministry of Tourism, the Parliamentary Service, and the Judicial Service, all of whom made it a very grand occasion. The Lord Chief Justice was there to take the kickoff. And earlier in the day, the curtain raiser, the Old Black Stars, featuring CK Akono, Sule Muntari, and others, wearing red shirts, and they still look good on the feet. The ball on their feet was still very interesting. Apparently, they beat the Parliamentary Select Committee, which included Neil Antivan Bapo, a former sports commentator with GBC, but currently, of course, Member of Parliament for the Ododo constituency, and himself a former Minister for Sports, isn't it? Okay, so that was interesting. We'll bring you a report from that as Kotoko lifted the cup at the expense of their national rivals, Accra Hearts of Oak. We happen to be there. After that, we'll just take you back all the way to Milwaukee in America, where in a few hours from now, Donald Trump, former president of the United States and leading in the polls to win and be re-elected in 2024, is about to take center stage. The first time after what they call, is it an assassination attempt, a shooting attempt, what is it? Well, it's accident. Maybe we can call it accident. The first time since his accident on Saturday, Mr. Trump is expected to address the Republican National Convention and addressing the people of America and all the people of the world tonight. For those of us in GMT, the event will occur just after midnight with Donald Trump taking the center stage. Yesterday, it was his vice president, Mr. Vance, and his wife who sort of stole the show. But for me, the biggest of all was his granddaughter and the way she spoke about him. I think that was phenomenal. Very, very good event organized by the IRC. The PR of the event was really, really super solid. Meanwhile, in the Democratic camp, it's still being said that Joe Biden should step aside. Yesterday, or is it today, he said that he's not stepping aside. He said that for the fourth time, and it looks like he's telling people that, hey, listen, whether you like it or not, I'm not stepping aside. H.S. Sekanko will be here. He promised that he'll give us 10 minutes of his time because he has to go back home and then watch the Donald Trump one. So all of that is coming. And then by 10 o'clock, we are out of all that, and then we get to Savlugu, to Mion, to Bunkurubu, and then to Bimbila, where Kwabena Agyei-Agyapong is coming from with the vice president. Earlier today, though, a survey has been published by Fitch Solutions, and they say that after speaking to many Ghanaians, a sample size, 54% of them think that the NDC candidate, John Dramani Mahama, will be elected in Ghana on December the 7th. So that's a survey that we'll look at and put it out. But that's the information they put out. 54% believe that John Dramani Mahama will win the election. The last time John Mahama won an election, he won it by 50 point something. The last time he lost an election, he lost it by 48 point something. The other election he lost by 44. That is, he gaining 44, not losing by, actually, I should rephrase that. He earned 44%. The last time was 48. Before then was 44. But now they say John Mahama, 54% of Ghanaians believe that John Mahama would be elected in December. So it's a survey that we can look at as we go. And there will be many surveys like this, but we are noting it down so that on election day, we can pull back all the surveys and see who was telling the truth and who was not telling the truth. Let's get to the touch screen though now, and let's quickly start with our action for today. Good evening and welcome to the show. I've gone back for my election shares because I'm just reminding you that elections are coming, isn't it? Elections are coming. And we are ready for it, and we are ready to go around the whole country and bring you constituency what, bring you the history, bring you the resources. Hey, by the way, editor, you forgot the Nkrumah story, please. The video, I sent you the video, so we'll do that. We'll do that as part of the pack stuff before. Nkrumah story, the text and the video, please keep it alive. All right. So this is our first, actually our second flyer tonight. We said there's a full report from Jakwa Court. Of course, this is our beautiful artwork you've seen before. The judge, Samuel Jemfi and Jakwa were there. And Adoa Michael Zurasi says, Paul is simply a gem, competent at work, excellent at delivery. I'm going to watch tonight's episode from the start to the end. Hey, Adoa, thank you very much. Michael Zurasi, that's his name. And he's quite excited about what we do. We get excited when young people, I believe that is a young man, when young people get excited about what we are doing. All right. Isaac Barford says, Paulus, your ability to break down legal terms and issues into a layman's understanding has won my admiration and deepened my quest to pursue law. Charlie, can't wait to watch tonight's episode. Prior to that, give us Pudon. Oh, Charlie, somebody has asked for Pudon. Police, make it ready. Pudon, make it ready. And somebody has asked for it. You know, the viewers, they are our bosses. So when they ask for something, you have to give it to them. Unless another viewer writes and says, don't play any Pudon, and then we'll wait. But for now, please get it ready. Get it ready. All right. Eugenia Lakoapia says, can't wait. Oh. And then Owokai says, Jakpa want to Jakpa from the law, but lie, he can't because Dami will damn him. Hey, this is interesting. Owokai, Jakpa wants to Jakpa from the law, but lie, he can't because Dami will damn him. Hey, that's a rhyme. Felix Bravehearted says, Paul, I like your program. It's edutainment. But please, it becomes annoying when the ladies start reading text messages. They are beautiful and they are one of the reasons why I watch your show. As for you, your face is too rough. So keep the girls and get them another segment on your show and take the texting off. But if you like the girls, if they are reading the text message, then you should like the segment. Okay, nice. Okay, ladies, they are praising you. They say you're good. Okay, so this was our second earlier flyer that went out. And we said that NPP stalwart and engineer Kwabena Ejapon mounts the touchscreen tonight on this most influential political platform. And he's coming to us fresh from campaigns at Nalerugu, Gambaga, Bumpurugu, Chiriponi, Saboba, Mion, Pandai, Wolensi, Bembela, Tamale, Gushegu, and Karaga. Kwabena Ejapon says it is possible. Join us for this conversation. You cannot miss this conversation. And many people started texting. It says, interview Kwabena Ejapon, interview Kennedy Ejapon too. Yes, we'll work on that. Mathuwaki says it is possible. Chumdako says, whoa, senior Kwabena Ejapon, Kala is absolutely fantastic to hear. You just have to listen to wisdom when he talks. A political colossus par excellence and great personality above all. We wouldn't miss this analysis for anything. More coming in. Mofero Freeman Sugurum says, I can't wait to hear the venerable politician and engineer Samuel Wolbeck says, lovely. I can't miss tonight's show. And Smith Chief Atakra Amenin says, yes, another Thursday to learn. And Oberima Kweku Eniam Ponsan says, it's a delight to watch tonight's show. Okay, let me just cross over here and take this book and share with you. There's this guy. Chief, you're watching me. Please send me your name. I have to tell the viewers. He's in the United Kingdom, you know. And he's been a very important resource for this show. I never met him, still not met him, but he sends me different things. So when we discussed the Nkrumah matter, the book that we put across about the Ghana situation, he told me that there's also a video. He sent me the video, which if it's ready, I'll share with you. But more importantly, he sent me this book in soft copy. It's entitled W. Arthur Lewis and the Birth of Development Economics. Arthur Lewis is an African-American, or is he a Jamaican scholar, globally acknowledged, who was studying economic developments in Africa, and he studied the Nkrumah and the Ghana situation thoroughly. And here, in 5 or so chapters, he discusses thoroughly what happened to Ghana's economy after inheriting so much money from the British. What happened such that by 1965, Ghana was teetering towards a HIPC situation. Arthur Lewis's book is here. Thank you very much, comrade. Thank you very, very much. Send me your name. I'll mention it. And I'm going to be reading it over the weekend. So Tuesday, all the information will be here with you. Okay, so this is a different book, though. This is the one who talked about Nkrumah and 1965, etc. There's a video that's attached to it. So let me just read it, and then perhaps I'll get the video as well so you can look at it very quickly. It says, by 1965, it had become very desperate. And I remember we decided to write a memorandum to Nkrumah to tell him the true state of affairs of the economy. I had written that the reserves were only 500,000 pounds. He, Osajefo, looked at me and said, you didn't check your typing. You left a few zeros. I said, no, sir, there are no zeros left. This is 500,000 pounds, all we have in the banks overseas. And he sat back, and what he did then was that he went round the table and went to everyone who was seated there at the meeting and asked them, Frimpong says we have 500,000 pounds. Is he right? Do you agree with him? And everyone said yes. That was the first time that the whole cabinet acknowledged to the president that Ghana was bankrupt, etc., etc. Here's Frimpong speaking to the BBC in an interview. Have a look.
Was an increasingly isolated figure on the world stage. What had once been seen as visionary ideas were now perceived as dangerous megalomania, and his country was sinking ever deeper into debt.
By 1965, it had become very desperate, and I remember we decided to write a memorandum to Nkrumah to tell him the true state of affairs of the economy. I had written that the reserves were only 500,000 pounds. He looked at me and said, you didn't check the typing. You left a few zeros. So I said, no, sir, there are no zeros left. This is 500,000. That's all we have in the banks overseas. And he sat back. Then what he did was that he went round the table. He went to everyone who was seated there, the meeting, and asked them, Frimpong says we have 500,000. Is he right? Do you agree with him? And everybody said yes. That was the first time the whole cabinet acknowledged to the president that Ghana was bankrupt.
A river, take me across and wash.
Yes, so we just want to bring more history to you. Good evening, sir. Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah on our screen. So we're going to look at Arthur Lewis's book and then share the analysis. And we're doing this because we want to show the other side of Ghana's history, if there is another side. And we said the other day that part of the problem and the emotional situation that we've had when somebody mentions Nkrumah's name, is because Osajefo is the one who wrote Ghana's history. Everything he wrote in Ghana's history was correct. But there are other facts that perhaps he didn't write. And he's a historian, he chooses what he's writing, so you can't begrudge him for that. But what is left, which he didn't write, which will help us to put the period in proper context, we have to share with our people. That's what the word posterity is all about. Posterity will come and judge because posterity will have the opportunity to see both sides. Once there's time has elapsed, we can see both sides. So when Kufuor is president, they say Kufuor is that. After a certain time, posterity can now put Kufuor properly and judge him because after the fact, we now have all the information. Nkrumah gave us some information. Let us get the rest of the information, put it together, put it within context, and then be able to make a proper assessment and evaluation of the Osajefo for the first president of Ghana. So, okay, today we end here and then we move on to the airline. This is fascinating, isn't it? Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa here, the Honorable Minister for Transport, and Dominic Ayine. Why do I have them on the screen? Dominic Ayine is the chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee in Parliament. And from time immemorial, subsidiary legislation has always been handled by the minority. I remember many years ago, Nana Akufo-Addo was the chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee. This would have been in the second parliament when I was covering it in 1998. So Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is here. He's a member of the parliament for North Zone. And then we are talking about the airline. So the story is this. The airline and many MPs sent this to me because on Tuesday I said something here that I think that the MPs should have had in the airline a total traffic overhaul plan. And then when you have a traffic overhaul plan, then you can put in all of those things. But if you bring an airline that says that exclude us from the traffic situation so that we can benefit from it and we can live as special citizens, then people are going to resist it. So the MPs called me and said, the thing you said, it was in the LI. The LI is about traffic management. That's what it is. However, when the LI came to Parliament, MPs said that Dampare has been arresting them when they are driving. And they arrest you and you say you're a member of Parliament and you're going to Parliament. He has no regard for it. So, if the MTTU people want this LI passed, they will have to include in it these exemptions for members of Parliament. Apparently, this information came from members of Parliament themselves. This addition came from members of Parliament. And when Dominic Ayini was laying the bill, he was being told by Okudzeto and others that make sure that the amendments that we put in there is in there. This is the story. That the amendment that MPs put in there, Okudzeto was urging Dominic that those amendments be put in there. Let's watch the video first, and then we'll come to what Ablakwa put on his Facebook page. And then you can put the two in context and make a determination about who was speaking the truth. This is the video. Have a look from Parliament.
You are right, legally, that the business is not before the House. And therefore, encouraging the chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee to engage with the minister, you are right. But the experience has shown, and experience is the best teacher, that we have done some before and took it for granted that those consultations have yielded the desired results and have reported on some instruments earlier on and later on discovered that the concerns were not captured. That is where I want to emphasize that the committee led by the chairman in engaging the minister should make sure that there is some consensus on those issues and those are well captured. And then the House would then, by the constitutional provision, process them so that we are not caught unawares again when the public start raising issues on those matters. You all recall recently what happened with the fees and charges miscellaneous instruments. So that is why I just want to draw your attention to it. But we proceed now to allow him to lay it, and it now becomes part of our business. It's before the House, and the House can now consider it properly. It's usually very difficult to get the percentage that is required by the Constitution to annul.
So you get up to that point. This is Speaker Bagbin talking about the bill and saying to members of Parliament that those consultations that we said you should have you had it? Because time has happened when you will assume that the consultations have been captured in, but then you will find out that the consultations were not captured in. What were the consultations? The consultations, we have been told, is about the inserting in the LI those privileges that the MPs were looking for. And that's what Mr. Speaker apparently is speaking to. So those MPs who come out and say, after the public uproar, that I don't know anything about it, I wasn't part of it, we should stop that kind of politics in this country, shouldn't we? I mean, we should stand up for what we stand up for. We should be left, right. Just, we should be, what you see is what you get. That's genuine politics. What is, if the thing goes wrong and the public are there, you come behind and say, hey, I wasn't part of it. I wasn't part of it. This is the speaker talking about that LI. He says that, where I pause, the speaker says, so right now, we will allow him to lay it, hoping that those consultations will be done. Continue the video.
Instrument. That's why we have the challenge. So the Minister for Roads, Minister for Transport is called upon to lay that instrument. Yes, please. Yes, Chairman.
Right, Honorable Speaker, usually the procedure is that when the changes have been suggested by the committee and they are effected by the drafting division of the Attorney General's Department, then the minister writes to the committee, notifying the committee of the changes that have been made and to the instrument, and that the instrument has been finalized for laying, and then we vet it. The leadership of the committee will vet it before we approve it for laying. The Honorable Minister defaulted in writing back to us And that is how come that I wasn't aware that it has been affected. But he and his staff, they have shown me the provisions that we asked to be inserted. So, Mr. Speaker, it can be late. Thank you very much.
So this is just before the LI was laid. The chairman of the committee, the Honorable Dominic Ayine, member of the National Democratic Congress, this is the Honorable Dominic Ayine, former Deputy Attorney General. Honorable Dominic Ayine is telling Speaker that the thing that you are talking about, those concerns have been, we noticed them. But the minister, when we wrote to him about the amendments, he defaulted in writing back to me that the amendments have been carried. However, his staff tell me that it looks like the amendments are in there. So, Mr. Speaker, we can go ahead and lay it. The Speaker was saying that don't lay it, because if you lay it and the amendments that MPs wanted, which is the siren and the car, is not inside, then we're going to have a problem. And he's assuring the Speaker that, oh, don't worry. Then we wrote those amendments to the minister. He didn't write back to me, but his staff assures me that it works. Now, you saw in the video when Dominic Ayine was speaking, who was sitting to his left? Please forward the video to that side and let's show it again. And I'll talk over it. I'll talk over it. If you can just forward the video, we'll show what. The man sitting to his left is Honorable Ablakwa. He was the one sitting to the Dominic Ayine's left. And he heard everything that was, and he was making comments. Yeah, that's Honorable Ablakwa over there. He's the one to the right-hand side of the screen. That is Okudzeto Ablakwa sitting by Dominic Ayine when Dominic Ayine was laying this LI that Ablakwa says he doesn't know anything about. I mean, what kind of politics is this, sir? Okay, now put Ablakwa's post on the social media on the touch screen. Let's read it to viewers so they can understand what kind of politics we are doing here. So this is what Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa put out. He said, I thought those of us totally at sea about the supposed LI on sirens and no speed limits missed the ball in Parliament. But it is reassuring to hear the Speaker of Parliament deny knowledge of the controversial LI. I hope the Speaker will launch an investigation into this whole fury. It is also great news that my minority leader has issued a statement opposing the LI. I'm in total and unequivocal support with our leader, Honorable Kaysel Ato-Forson, the Transport Ministry, blah, 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 blah. Viewers, send me text. This is Ablakwa writing this. He doesn't know anything about the LI. Same Ablakwa sitting near Dominic Ayine when Dominic Ayine was laying that LI that he says he doesn't know anything about. Mr. Speaker apparently also says he doesn't know anything about it, but this is the Speaker in the chamber apparently speaking about that LI. I'm completely confused. Unless Ablakwa comes to answer the question that he didn't know about it and explain why, we will say that he was not telling the Ghanaian people the truth when he put this out there. Unless he has something else to say, because the video is there. You are sitting by the chairman of the committee, who is a member of your side of parliament. The chairman of the committee is laying the paper. Speaker says, committee chairman, are you sure the paper is due to be laid? Because the way it is, if you don't finish your consultations and you lay the paper, you probably will not be able to change it. Chairman of the committee assures the speaker that, oh, don't worry, everything is sorted. So he prepares to lay the document. It is upon laying the document that the whole world heard about it, and somebody went to the media and said, parliamentarians want car. Then I came here and said, no, parliamentarians cannot want siren. They have to be fixing the whole thing. Apparently the bill is about fixing the whole thing. Now next, I'm going to bring the entire LI here and walk you through all the provisions of it so that you can see it. But my concern today is that the politicians that we are supposed to trust, the leaders of parliament, they should be more truthful to our people and stop this playing for the cameras. Every time trying to show that they are noble people, they are the most noble people. I don't even get it. Ablakwa, you have to come and tell us something. You have to come and explain the inconsistency between your complete denial of this LI and your position sitting by Dominic Ayine when Dominic Ayine was laying it. I'll leave it here. Send me text about it and then we move on. Next, let's go and talk about Jakpa. But before, as I get ready to talk about the Jakpa, if you have text messages, please get me 2 each right now whilst I prepare to go to the ambulance case. Do we still have time? Yes, we still have some 10 minutes to go. We'll make it. 10 o'clock, the interview with Kwabena Agyapong will start. Okay, who should I start with? Anziba, what are people saying?
Thank you very much, Paul. We have a message from Haja Halima. She's saying, there's another video from City TV where the speaker was addressing some students of the University of Ghana and stated that there's no such LI lead in Parliament. He isn't aware of the LI yet, and he was a speaker on the day that the LI was lead. Okay, we also have one from Ramatu. She's saying, a program I will never miss for anything. Good evening, Ghana. Anthony, what do you have for us?
Right, so Yao Bonti says, watching you live from New Abrim, greetings to Charles Ovredu. Will Maxby says, what happened, Apostle Paul, to the information you sought under the RTI from the Special Prosecutor Kisi Ejabin regarding the bulletproof cars that he purchased? And lastly, Kweku Opoku says, the strength of every political party comes from their strategy and tactics. The NPP approach in the north is gaining ground. Now we can see that the blind can now see. Napo DMB ticket is thoroughly a Ghanaian's asset.
All right, so this is coming from Ado Michael, and it says, Paul, from the evidence you just shared, it's obvious Ablakwa is just a noise maker and it's serious about what happens in Parliament. Also, Kofi Chambers says, Babin is a bad minority. He's part of the reasons why this Parliament has been so inward-looking. They are using this Parliament to create a class society where some people are more important than others. And then lastly, coming from Nana Kiamabwatin says, Paul, the NPP majority in Parliament should be smart in their dealings with the NDC minority in Parliament. This is not the first time the NDC is setting them up for ridicule. Now back to you, Paul.
All right. We'll do the text messages poco a poco tonight as we move on. Now, our good friend Richard Jakpa was in court again today. What happened in court today? So, and why is the Jakpa story still going on? Listening to the media, I was excited that the judge seemed to have given the trajectory of where the case is going. She's taking addresses in October, and then finally she will deliver a judgment sometime after October. Okay, so people will be wondering, Jakpa was an agent for the ambulance case, which occurred in 2014-2015. Why is it necessary to talk about his past life in the Ghana Armed Forces? How does that connect to the ambulance matter that he's doing? You people are prosecuting Jakpa that he has caused financial loss to the state, occasioned financial loss to the state relating to the ambulance matter. Okay, so if he's occasioned financial loss to the state related to the ambulance matter, stay with the ambulance matter and demonstrate how he has occasioned financial loss to the state. What is the point about his military stuff? Now, when we get to it, I will repeat the point that I've been making, that sometimes time helps us to understand people's motives and the things that people do. Now, when we are getting to this part of the trial in the ambulance case, we are now beginning to understand why some people, especially some of the accused persons, wanted the trial curtailed. And why they hired Johnson Asidun Katia and Sami Jemfi without telling them the truth, without telling them who they are, without telling them their character. They hired Samuel Jemfi and Asidun Katia to help the cause, to make this very political, to paint the case in political colors, green versus blue, so that Ghanaians will be divided along the political situation for the case. The purpose of doing all that, it appears, was to obscure the things that we are now discovering. Because somebody was aware that if this case travels the natural course, Ghanaians will begin to discover something that will make them very, very uncomfortable about some of the people. And this is the point. Because they knew that if the case travels its natural course, we will get to a place where people will now begin to wonder what really happened. And by the grace of God, we are getting to the place where people are seeing things that we didn't even know existed. Now, let's get to the touch screen and check it out. So today, Jakpa and his military background came up. I put up the Evidence Act here so that, as I was saying, people will understand why it's a life of somebody. So, for instance, if you have a case with Paul Adomochiri, and then you can go and say that, okay, when Paul Adomochiri was in Presec, okay, Presec was at the age of majority. Yes, some part of it not, yes. So the age of majority, you know, sometimes when the lawyers are speaking on radio and they say the age of majority, the media try to correct them and say maturity. The language that is used in the Matrimonial Causes Act is the age of majority. It's not maturity. 18 and above is called in the Matrimonial Causes Act the age of majority. That is the time that you can make a decision. So if I've gone beyond the age of majority, they can always bring what I did once I was past the age of majority and say that this is the character of the man. Let's look at the Evidence Act. It's in section 53. Evidence of character not admissible to prove conduct. Okay. Evidence of a person's character or a trait of the character of that person is not admissible to prove conduct in conformity with that character or trait of character on specific occasion, except A, in a criminal action. Evidence of the character or trait of the character of the accused when offered by the accused to prove the innocence of the accused, or by the prosecution to rebut the evidence previously introduced by the accused. Viewers, sorry about the language, it's a bit very legal, but it's saying that the evidence of character is admissible in a criminal action where it has to prove something. Okay, so now we understand why this character is important. It's a criminal trial, and the character is coming in as aid to the prosecution to demonstrate that the accused person they are dealing with, Japa, has a very bad previous character, and that is perhaps what is evidencing, what is being evidenced in the trial, and what he evidenced in doing what he did, which has brought him to the court. All right, updates from the ambulance trial today. Let's get on with it now. So Thaddeus Sory, lawyer for Richard Japa, subpoenaed the military secretary, Air Commodore Edu Jemfi, to speak to certain documents and provide same, which were documents that formed the basis for the dismissal of Japa from the Ghana Armed Forces. You remember that during his cross-examination, the Attorney General raised the issue with Richard Japa that why were you dismissed from the Ghana Armed Forces? And then he spoke about it. And then Japa had interviews with the media and told the media that he was completely innocent and that he was maltreated by the army and he has done nothing wrong. And that he told the media that his lawyers are going to bring the soldiers into the court. They're going to bring the armed forces into the court for them to come and justify the letter they wrote, which I read here, signed by the learned General Ahiaglo, who is passed to eternal glory. That's what Richard Japa said. He said that he was going to bring the soldiers. His lawyers were going to subpoena. True to his word, his lawyers did subpoena the military to come into the court. This is what happened. Lawyer for Japa, strangely, did not ask the witness to tender the evidence, but rather asked whether he, the witness, gave the documents to the Attorney General, which questioned the witness answered in the negative. So the Thaddeus Sory, when the case came up today, and they had subpoenaed the army that come to us with these documents. When the army came with the documents in the court and presented the documents to the court, lawyer for Japa did not ask the witness to tender the evidence. He didn't invite the witness that we want to add this to the evidence. Why didn't he do that? Lawyers do that to want to add it to the evidence when it will aid their case. When a lawyer sees that this material will aid my case, he will ask the permission of the court, my lord, we want to add it to the evidence. There may be objection from the other side. If there's no objection, or if the said objection is overruled, the court will admit it in evidence. When the court admits it in evidence, it means it will form part of the judge's decision-making process. Now, Thaddeus Sory asked the military to come to the court because they believe that, and Japa has convinced them that whatever the military has documented about him is incorrect. And Japa told that to the media as well. So his lawyer confidently asked the military, subpoena them to the court. The military come to the court today. They have all the documents with them. It is presented to the court that this is the document. This is what happened. This is why we'll go into all that. These are the things that occasioned his dismissal. Thaddeus Sory, who wanted the people to come to court, does not ask the witness any question. The witness speaks, and he's now open for questions from all the lawyers. The lawyer who subpoenaed the witness does not ask the witness any question. It's not that it's never happened before, but it means something. It means something. It means that the lawyer was convinced that this material evidence that the military has brought to court does not aid the case of the prosecution. And that's why he didn't ask questions, because in asking questions, he would deepen the process, and then it will be more grave. The offenses that Japa may have committed against the military may be grave if you now ask questions and the guy starts to explain it. The Attorney General, however, asks questions. The only question that Thaddeus Sory asked the military man was that, you, Mr. Colonel, are you the one who gave the documents to the Attorney General? And the Colonel said, no, I didn't give it to the Attorney General. Eventually, it was found in the court that the documents were given to the Attorney General upon request by the Minister for Defense. It was the Minister for Defense who handed over the documents to the Attorney General. But that's the only question Thaddeus Sory asked. That's the only thing he was interested in. That, are you the one who gave it to the Attorney General? And the officer said, where's the military colonel? He's not a small boy. Very senior officer. He said, no, I didn't give it to the Attorney General. And he didn't. Soldiers don't do that. Soldiers don't give documents. They give it to their boss. The soldiers work in a very meticulous way. They don't do that and give something to Attorney. No. They will give it to their boss. The army commander says, bring me the documents. You send it to the army commander. If he says, go and give it to the Minister of Defense, you go and give it to the Minister of Defense. If he says, go and give it to the military secretary, he'll go and give it to the military secretary. Soldiers don't do that. They are not like that. They are serious people. So I'm not sure what the lawyer was trying to get from the colonel. You're not going to get anything from the colonel. They come and they speak the truth. They put the documents and they are gone. That's about it. They don't have time for those things. Anyway, so that's what happened. Let's move on to get more information. So Atuforsen's lawyer, Aziz Bamba, also asked the witness no questions. This is Aziz Bamba on the TV. He also didn't ask any question. You know why he didn't ask any question and why they didn't want the witness that they had subpoenaed to tender the documents? Because they were sure that these documents are critically against the interest of Jakpa, the third accused. I don't know whether it will also be against the interest of Atuforsen, but the court will decide those things. The Attorney General then asked whether the witness had brought the documents that Tadeo Sori had asked. The witness had asked the witness to bring to the court, to which the answer was in the positive. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next level. All right, now what are these documents? What is that document we are talking about? This is a document. Now we have to blur the document because it's not a document that we want to share. We are soldier people. We are all soldier people. We understand and respect what the Ghana Armed Forces does. The fact that it's come to the court doesn't mean we can share everything. But just for the evidence that we are quoting from the right material, this is the document. It was a 20th May document of 2004. What is in the document? The special report on Lieutenant R.K. Jakpa. 1. He took official vehicle with the driver home and sacked the driver, leaving the vehicle in his home outside the barracks overnight. Well, looks like a little offense. It looks like it's minimal, but for soldiers it's important. He took a vehicle home, and so when they report you, they say all of these little things that you've done. You remember when in secondary school, when you break the school rules, they take you to the senior house master, and then they tell you what you've done. So the first one is that he took a vehicle with a driver home and asked the driver, sacked the driver, leaving the vehicle in his home outside the barracks overnight. Number 2, 3 officers all complained that Jakpa failed to return to post after undergoing special short training courses in Accra, but would rather go on a frolic of his own. 3, he got indebted to a Lebanese businessman to the tune of $400 when he was sent for peacekeeping operations in Lebanon. Okay. 6, a Ghanaian residing in Lebanon gave him money and items to be delivered for him. That is that Ghanaian. It was only upon strong warning from command that he settled his debt and gave the money and items to the Ghanaian. 5, he was scheduled for orientation classes and he failed to attend most of the classes for no proper reason. 6, there are several undocumented complaints of indiscipline. Okay, now let's get to more of the matter on indebtedness. Lieutenant Jakpa was granted a loan of $300 from a unit PRI in 2004, however failed to pay after several requests. The conduct was characterized as shameful, and therefore it was requested that the loan be deducted from his salary. Jakpa was not honorably released from the army because it would have been stated on his release letter. 2, the dismissal letters of Jakpa was given to the Attorney General by the Minister for Defense. So altogether, these are the things that the military brought to the court. In terms of Jakpa's character, he was recalcitrant. He didn't attend lectures. They had some course he didn't attend. He was called, why don't you attend? He went to Lebanon, came back owing some Lebanese businessman. He was owing this guy. He takes a vehicle. So that kind of behavior, that is what occasioned his release. So this is what the military came to say in the court. And they have tendered the documents, the letter from the Ghana Armed Forces, the report, it's all there. The report on Jakpa is there. It's tendered. And this is what happened in court. So viewers, you can look at it. You can look at it and determine where we are going. So you can see now that there was a very important motive why people didn't want this case to go its natural course. Why they came to say that because of a phone call conversation, because of a meeting in Justice Kulendi's house, this is mistrial. The Attorney General has conducted himself, so we have to stop the trial. If the Attorney General misconducts himself, do you stop the trial? Attorney General can step aside and the DPP can go on. But their interest and concern was to stop the trial because they were clearly aware that if the trial proceeds this way, we will find out that, first of all, Richard Jakpa has benefited 700,000 euro of Ghanaian people's taxpayers' money. It's gone to his pocket for no work done at all. That money has already gone to his pocket. And then his military background is also there for people to see. If you put all of these things together, well, the court will make their final decision. We are not the court. We don't know. But these are the things that are coming out from the trial. These are the things. And then when I come and stand and say, then Jakpa will send me a text message threatening me that you have time to redeem yourself. This is the kind of person he is. That report has been made. This is the kind of person he is. You have time to redeem yourself. Then he sends you a video of somebody shooting somebody. It's on my phone. That's the kind of person that Asiedu Nketia wanted all Ghanaians to see as a paragon of virtue. Asiedu Nketia and Sami Jefi. You have John Mohammed's election, John Mohammed's campaign. You are blemishing John Mohammed's campaign with this kind of material. This is a blemish to John Mohammed's campaign because the chairman of the party and the national propaganda secretary together held a press conference and sold off Richard Jakpa to Ghanaians as a paragon of virtue, and that Godfrey Dame was a demon, and that this is the virtue, the white light guy who is shining the light onto Godfrey Dame's darkness. This is the impression that they gave to Ghanaians, that Richard Jakpa, this man here, this is what they said. This is what they said. Anyway, these are the documents. These are the documents. These are the documents. This is Richard Jakpa here. This is the matter. So as the case is going, I'm very excited today that the judge sort of laid it out, the timetable on what they are going to do. Other people are going to appear. I can't wait for the subpoena of Alban Sumanu case for Bagby, the Right Honorable Speaker. He was Minister of Health at the time. He's going to be in the matter. We're going to hear what everybody will say. By the time we finish hearing everybody, already Richard Jakpa has told us that Setekwe and Madam are very evil. So already that's where we are. Okay, the signal is to get it off now. It's 6 minutes past the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. Let's get Kwabena Agyapong prepared right now. Please, production, get Kwabena Agyapong prepared. Yes. Okay, I'm getting corrected that the officer who appeared in court today, Alhaji, thank you very much for your correction. I'm reading your text now. He's an Air Commodore. That is a brigadier, 1-star general. It's a 1-star general, and I should correct it. Military don't joke with their ranks. Okay, Alhaji, I've seen your text. Very important, Alhaji has sent me a text. So the one who appeared today was in court was a general, brigadier general, not a colonel. The military secretary is a brigadier general's appointment. I should have known that. The military secretary's appointment is always a brigadier general's appointment. Okay, alrighty. So that ends the Jakpa story. No, they said Kwabena Agyapong already. Sports is getting ready now. Are you ready? Come up. Let's do it in 5 minutes. Now, yesterday, viewers, we were at the Accra Sports Stadium. That's me and a police officer. When I approached him and I was talking to him, he said, "What are you coming to do? Good evening, Ghana here or what?" I said, "Officer, no. I'm just checking around what's happening." He said, "But why are you happy? Are you a Kotoko man?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a Kotoko man." He said, "So you are happy." And then I said, "Let's take a photograph." Very, very nice, interesting police officer. This is a full-time score was 2-1. And a bit of the crowd, is it? Yep. Hey.
KNUST students.
Oh, they came all the way.
Yeah.
The
Fabu Tertiary.
Porcupine something.
Yeah.
Porcupine Tertiary.
Yeah.
Oh, they came from Kumasi.
Yeah.
Wow.
They followed the team to everywhere.
Wow. Oh, that was super.
Yes.
That was super. I saw the game and
this was the man of the match.
I think there's some good players in there. I was very impressed. I've not watched Kotoko in a long time.
Some young players. So
very, very impressive.
That was their best player. That Steve Mukwala has been sold to Simba for good money. So they have invested in young players like this guy. You understand? And he's a good defender. And then I like the football they played yesterday. Hearts never stood a chance.
I saw it. The Kotoko played quite well. I've not seen Kotoko in a long time, but they played well.
Hearts didn't create a chance till that goal came.
Yeah.
It was a mistake from the goalkeeper. So they never stood a chance.
Even the winning goal, the way they captured it, it was a mistake from the Hearts defender.
Yeah.
And the way they picked it up, and
it was very beautiful.
It looked like they can go places. If they get resources, they really can go places.
This is the trophy. And before that, there was a precursor. That was the MPs versus the Black Stars players, the former Black Stars players. And then Sule Muntari scored for the Black Stars players. It was 3-1 against the Black Stars ex-players. And that was a nice pass from Haruna Idrisu, the captain of the team. He gave it to Patrick. Honorable Patrick.
Patrick Boama, yes.
Yeah. That's MP for Obuasi East.
Obuasi East, not Boama. Okay.
Beautiful goal for the first goal. They really did it well.
And the Chief Justice got the kickoff.
Yes.
What's happening here? Who's joining United?
This is a promising young 18-year-old centre-back from Leo, Lenny Yoro, 6'3". That's height. Yes.
6'3".
Oh, yes. He scored 3 goals last season and gave 2 assists.
The centre-back?
Yes, centre-back. For 50 million.
He scored 3 goals?
Oh, yes.
I see.
50 million euros plus 12 million add-ons. that will be in years.
But he's 18.
Yes, 18.
But can 18-year-old handle Manchester United's defense?
We have Maguire. He's trying.
We're looking for Jaap Stam. You know Jaap Stam?
Oh yes.
We're looking for Jaap Stam and maybe Rio Ferdinand. 18-year-olds. Anyway,
so Ferdinand spoke to him. Yeah. So the thing is, the Golden Boy rankings. That's the best young player of the year. We have Garnacho and we have the guy Lenny Yoro.
He's 5.
Yes, he's number 5 now, and Kobe Mainoo is number 7.
Okay.
So
that 3 of the Golden Boys are in the team.
Man United. So you can see the team is now moving away from just buying, experienced players like Casemiro to younger players. You understand? Because they are learning from Madrid. You understand? Madrid is buying younger players, so they also learn from the same.
Madrid buys younger players. Luka Modric is young.
Oh, Luka Modric is experienced, but they are buying young players like that's Endrick, who is also 17. Mbappe is 24.
Jude Bellingham
and all of that. You understand? Vinicius also 18 when he was bought to Madrid, and now he's the best player of the team. So they are having. Yeah, this was the Dutch player I was talking about, the striker last week. So United is also 22. United is swinging away from buying experienced players to going into.
But that means you can't win title this season.
With Ten Hag, we are short of winning another title. I know you don't like it.
Like a trophy.
Oh yes, another trophy.
Well,
I know you want the league title.
The league, yeah. You have to beat Manchester City and beat Arsenal.
Something little before I leave to rub the Hearts fans their wounds. In 10 matches, Kotoko have won 6, Hearts have won 3, and there's only 1 draw. So Kotoko has been really, really lashing Hearts of late, and I hope my
team... But you know when we're growing up, one of the people who made us love Asante Kotoko was Kwabena Japan.
Okay.
And he's coming into the studio today. Yesterday, I texted him and I said, Kotoko, he said he didn't know that Kotoko has been playing. When he comes back, he'll tell us what's happening. We'll take a short break. When we come back, the big interview is here live with Kwabena Japan.
So what about what your papa piano?
This is my secret. Give us P capsules. Pema wa ho din ko from na want to me to my din won pem. Give us P capsules. Overdo as mama. Ono enemy lawyer.
Anti lawyer no na she obotom. Are you bro? They na pon permission ba be chia mo a eze ni die.
Bosano.
No. You didn't know I can't wait. The friend give us cold capsules. Say yes, is yare na wo so. Cold the do we need pedem when you now wo posa amamai enti ma wunja wo nan yi. We no give us cold capsules ah. Obey free.
Lawyer,
give us cold capsules.
And I give us P capsules.
Hey, and I give us free.
Obey capsules.
And men what if you do what you do cronkwan ever. Give us core capsules. A painful a batter one more menu for one and quadra if you do me nunca.
Are you looking to own a prime piece of litigation-free land where you can put up your dream family home or your ideal getaway retreat within a luxurious estate? Then look no further. Welcome to Rehoboth Hills, where your dream of hassle-free land ownership comes to life. Acquire land devoid of multiple purchases, litigation, and land guard issues in a safe and secure gated community while enjoying the fabulous night view of Accra from the serene Ebri Mountains. Rehoboth Hills offers spacious plots that provide you with the ideal setting for your dream home and a valuable, safe investment for your future. The lands are located in the prime area of Ayarifa within our residential development Rehoboth Hills, overlooking the city of Accra and the Ebri Mountains. Our prices are very affordable and designed to fit your budget. We offer flexible payment terms, ensuring that you can invest in a valuable asset for the future. Contact us on 0244 764 499 or 0204 950 810 or visit our website at www.rehobothpropertiesgh.com. Rehoboth Properties, quality housing for all.
Ghana for Mama Dado Nyo, may the dear Janava, Dado spices are wood running in every Jackson, and you never know yet.
If we come your trouble, we no use dead spice. We no go chop. If I don't feel
Taste the inside. Yeah, the natural spices, Papa Pana.
Noodles the way you go, dead spices.
Just the
one. No more dead spices.
Black, taste na chicken.
Kaji, go. But dead spices here, what Jenny say, nanya good taste. If we say, yeah, the natural spices, and yeah, you're gonna have yao. Annie, you want all purpose, stew, noodles, curry, and nutmeg, and a jollof. Dead spices, taste yummy, taste lemon. Dead spices, taste day inside. FDIG, a JD in Kratoya too.
Bar Herbal Hospital. Specialists in every kind of bone disease.
Bar Herbal Hospital. Baby, a Sunday will be Nanso, Yari, Sapa,
spinal cord, swelling of the arms, arthritis, bone injury, swelling of the leg with reddish color around it, and so on. See, Bar Herbal Hospital has special ultra-modern machine for checking up the body. I have tried them and I got good results. Try Bar Herbal Hospital.
Bet, blast, boom! Exclusively on Betway. Win up to 300% more when you play FlyX with Win Boost from Betway. Betway, get way more!
The Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, Bandeya, is proudly 50 years now. We are celebrating it with the birth of a new Arab-Africa Cooperation for Development, dedicated to supporting the vision for the Africa we want. On Sunday, July 21st, 2024, as part of the African Union Mid-Year Coordination meeting in Accra, Ghana, Africa's heads of state, leading business figures, heads of financial institutions from both Africa and the Arab region will join forces at a special leaders' breakfast, not only to celebrate 50 years of Arab-Africa partnership, but also to launch the Arab-Africa Financial Consortium, a new club of leading multilateral financial institutions, development finance institutions, and major sovereign wealth funds, brought together to chart a stronger and exciting future of cooperation and transformation. To register or learn more, go to bandeya.org.
Yes.
Star 712.
Which of this? Come in, agree. Yeah, and now you were back in Greece. To say why you fit down millionaire. Yes, the luckiest at Aroma. To say about from Massa Echemano. Yeah. Now check this. Sister Abna, aka Kogi Hima. The luckiest at Aroma. Queen B.
Yeah.
Boss lady back up there. Hold on to your seats, folks. Such anyway, it'll be you smooth. Way and your friend will upgrade. Luckiest Adaroma. And the best part, that with the luckiest, will be our shot to a good life. And I'm talking to you, me, your girlfriend, your ex, your neighbors, your landlords, and even Goro boys. And no one is over dialing with lucky number. Star 712 hash. No.
Oswaldo ticket to win in the community draw or the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
Good evening again and welcome. The big interview is here, but let's see what people were saying on the text. Fatih, you first, isn't it? Is it Fatih first? Yes, Fatih, what I'm saying.
All right, so this is coming from NPP today, and he says Jakpa's defense is a train wreck, with each attempt at justification only further decimating his credibility. The military's damning testimony has left his arguments in tatters. Meanwhile, the NDC leadership, who shamelessly peddled falsehoods in desperate bid to salvage Jakpa's reputation, are now conspicuous in their silence. Their cowardice is a slap in the face to their own supporters, whom they have callously manipulated with emotional appeals. It's a dark day for NDC sympathizers who are being led astray by a leadership more interested in power games than truth and accountability. And lastly, coming from Samuel Ofosubai, says, Paul, I still don't comprehensively understand Jakpa why he knows definitely that he was dismissed unhonorably from the military services. Evil never be hidden. His evil deeds has exposed him blatantly. What do you have for us?
Yes, so Salman Major seems to see some inconsistencies with Jakpa's trial. He says, but I thought they said that Richard Jakpa was involved in consistent fraudulent conduct, but these do not look fraudulent enough. Are these the fraudulent conduct discussed? Oh no, there seems to be something to it. Isaac Buffer says, why do you subpoena a witness whose commentary may potentially denigrate and implicate your client? What was the motive of the lawyers to subpoena the army command? And lastly, Eduje Mfigodi says, Martin Pebble was all over the place calling for mistrial or discontinuation of the trial because it was getting murkier and embarrassing Ghanaians and judiciary. These propaganda surrogates can be very deceptive. Over to you.
Okay, we have a message from Master Pana Jr. in Kintampo. He's saying the minority in parliament and the speaker should stop behaving like ostriches. Ghanaians are more descending, and with journalists like Mr. Paul, you will always be exposed. From Mercy Sewa, she's saying, Honorable Ablakwa always wants to look good in the eyes of Ghanaians. He's doing well for his constituents, but the double standards are becoming too much. Lastly, from Samuel Afinyo saying, but don't you see, even the speaker doesn't know what was in the LI. I think the LI was dealt with at the committee level. Hence, most of the other MPs don't know what was in the LI. Okujato didn't say he doesn't know of an LI being laid. He meant he doesn't know of the contents, and that is his opinion. Over to you, Paul.
All right. Let's start. Yesterday, we won 2-1 against Hearts of Oak.
Yes.
You didn't see it?
I didn't see the game, unfortunately. It's a very sad.
Well, the last time you saw Asante Kotoko, though?
Not too long ago. I watched one of their matches last season, and I mean, they struggled a bit. It's time for us to really bring the beauty back to our game locally. And I've had time.
The stadium was not full, though, and people at the stadium were saying that it was in Kumasi, it would have been full. It was about half full.
I think we have to be deliberate about bringing back the passion to football in Ghana.
But why is it in Kumasi and it's not in Accra?
Even in Accra, I think we are not doing it well enough. See, some of these things, we have to create the energy around it, the awareness around it, and encourage people. I mean, when we were young, it was our parents who took us to the stadium. And when we were below the age of 17 or so, it was free. And it allowed the society to build a new generation of sports lovers. So these are things that I do believe government, Ministry of Sports.
So you went to Kumasi with your father?
Yes.
And you didn't have to pay?
Stadium. Yes, I didn't have to pay.
Oh, I see.
Yes, yes.
And you saw who? Ibrahim Sunday?
No. That was Ajimam Bedu of BA United. I'm talking 1966, 1967.
Oh, sorry.
I was a very young.
That's a very long time ago.
BA United versus Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
But BA United was a big team then?
Of course.
Really?
Yes. It was a great team, you know. So it's sad what has happened to Ghana football. I mean, if you look at the 18 Premier Division teams, there are very few of them that are community linked. It is taken over by one-man clubs who have no support base. Because over the last...
Karela United.
Over the last 20 years, we have allowed commercialization, individualism to overtake the game. And
okay, so you mean we lost the traditional Swedru Fankoma?
Every region had a
Blacks.
team. Whole Mighty Eagles, Whole Sunset, Francoba All Blacks, Dwarfs, Vipers in Cape Coast, Wise, Hazakers in Sekondi, Olympics, Hearts here,
Standfast at some point.
Yeah, at some point. Kotoko Cornerstones.
Yes.
Bofokwa BA.
Yeah.
Savannah United and Gwewa Stars.
Oh, I see.
Before it became Real Tamale United.
Oh, I see.
Bolga Mighty Rocks. You know.
Oh, so that's how it was designed.
Yes, you know. So
very similar to the English situation.
Very, very similar.
Very similar.
And that is why the English League is so strong. Because the smallest of teams, even down the 4th tier,
they have a community base. And you go to their home ground, you better be ready.
Better be ready. And that's why they love the FA Cup. That's why they are able to
That's why they get the big men.
Shocks. Yes. You know, so that passion virtually disappeared from football.
Yeah.
That we'll have another day to discuss.
We'll talk about that later. How is the campaign, though?
I think it's going very well. Going very well. But before I talk about that, I want to lay a little perspective. The fact that Dr. Bawumia was elected November 4th, 6 clear months after his main opponent had been elected. Moved quickly to set up his campaign team, strong structure, moved around the 16 regional capitals with a well laid out, consistent program, meeting major stakeholders around the country, put together a manifesto team that has worked and finished the first draft and is in the final stages of completing it for his perusal. This shows someone who is ready to govern. Very clearly, you know, very serious about it. He's now moved into the second phase after selecting his running mate in Kumasi. And last week we did over 20 constituencies in the northern sector.
After you left Kumasi for the running mates, you've done 20.
Yes.
I saw the videos in Bimbela. I saw you dancing in one of the videos.
I was attending the Konkoba dance.
Oh, that was in Konkoba area.
Yes.
What is the message when you go to places like that? Is it a different message for different places, or is it about the same? Because you always have to confront high economic prices, high cost of petrol.
You see, if you are a serious politician, there's a strong dichotomy between the rural areas
and the urban areas. What concerns the rural area?
Of course.
It's
very different. I mean, if you are going to Tatale, which has not seen coal tar since independence.
Since independence?
Yes. I've been around this country right from the days of Edubwani.
In 92?
And if you go, traveled with Kufuor in 96, 2000, Akufo-Addo 98, 2008, 2012, and all that. On my own as General Secretary candidate. And you look at the massive development that this party, this government has brought to the people of Ghana. The equity.
Oh, the equity. That's really the big deal.
That's a really big deal.
So that Accra can look like Tatale.
I stood in this station. I even said that I think the government has spread itself too thin.
Yeah, you did.
You know,
there's too much going on everywhere.
Where? I mean, no government since independence has attempted to build major health facilities at 111 locations.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. I mean, I think we stretched ourselves too thin. I've been around. I've seen a lot of them. 60, 70%, some 90%.
Complete.
And some ready to be commissioned, I think about 5 before the election. And you go and, I mean, communities that used to have only 6 communities out of about 60 with electrification. And now we have about 45. And by the time we get to election, maybe 100% coverage. So you go to Woolensey, I mean, in those days in 1998, atrocious conditions. They tried to move from Pandai, Woolensey, Bimbila, Yendi, that road. And it is now straight through, right through to Katakachi, joining in Chumuru, through to Northern Volta.
But maybe the roads were done by Mills or Mahama, was it?
No, most of them were done
by Akufo-Addo.
I know what I'm talking about, because not long ago when I was contesting as General Secretary, that was 10 years in 2014, I knew the state of the roads. In 2015, when I was going around supervising the registration, electoral commission registration exercise, I knew the state of the roads. The massive improvements in infrastructure, health, education, facilities. People appreciate it. And don't underestimate the free senior high school. Every chief, every place that we went, we're giving testimony.
About how that policy has helped people.
Has helped people. The fact that we are now having 1.4 million students in school instead of 800. It means there were about 600,000 who were falling out of the net because they couldn't get the finances to do so. So there has been major progress in different areas. Of course, we all recognize and admit the shortcomings, the economic difficulties, which is global but has bitten us more in our country. So people appreciate what the government has done. And in fact, Dr. Bawumia, he's been around for quite a bit, 16 years. And going around with him, he's done a lot of work even before he became vice president. As candidate, you know, he's touched the lives of millions of Ghanaians. Places where he's helped them with facilities in churches, in mosques, in schools. And the people know that he has empathy. Character matters in this leadership thing, okay? And I think that he has that. He loves people. He's concerned for the underprivileged. He's concerned especially for people with disabilities. He's a patron of the Lepers Aid in Ghana and the work he does with them. And when you go with him, and I've been 3 occasions with him, and I have to say that, you know, the ease with which he will carry somebody who's recovered from leprosy, you know, all of us have these hang-ups around us. You know, you could see this as somebody who is genuine, has empathy.
So this video, for instance, the people, what are they excited about? It looks like it's in the night.
Yes, yes.
And they're holding torches.
We stayed close, depending on the, you know, they were excited about him. They like him. He's, you know, Dr. Bawumia is a very nice person, very good human relations, hardly says any bad thing about people, never really gets angry, you know, and so people like him. He's a very likable character, and he's turning things around. And he's an exceptional candidate for us, the MPP, because he has put to bed the perennial propaganda. The NDC was riding on 2 planks. From 1992, it was terrible. That they just stereotype the MPP as an Asante party. Sometimes I can't, but they really say you're an Asante party. And they go down into the nooks and crannies of this country and tell them that, look, don't vote for the Ashantis. Very tribal campaign. You understand? At the end of it all, that's how come his main competitor, the former president, was able to come out openly and say that we are all watching.
Whether they will give him that thing.
Yes, and that they are just
using
him. And he's sorry for his brother.
Yeah.
This is a major statement that he made.
Yeah, he did.
It will never happen.
Yeah, he did.
He did say that. Not only him, his general secretary
said
also
that too.
said that. You know, and the fact that he won with 61% of the vote, close to 70% of the super delegates, 61% of the vote in the general election. And for a first timer at presidential, that was the highest vote.
So that's interesting.
Yes, that was the highest vote.
For any first timer?
For any first timer. You can add all of them, from a Dubois to Kufuor
I've never thought about that statistics.
Yes. For a first timer.
Oh, he's the biggest winner of a first timer.
That's right. So,
but he was only first timer who was vice president. No, Ali was.
No, Ali was.
Ali was.
You can't
Ali
say
was.
that.
Ali
I'm just telling you that he's used his position to good effect. I mean, sometimes they say incumbency pays.
Yeah.
But he has really used it, because as vice president, to win over the parliament is a very strong segment of our political work, you know. So if you can have more than 100 parliamentarians out of 130 openly supporting you, then there must be something good you have done. So he's got 2 good interpersonal skills, and I think that has worked for him. People like him. He respects people. His humility is very documented, and he does so naturally. It comes across him naturally. He's not somebody who loves the perks of power or all the hang-ups of protocol, because there are several times he breaks protocol. You have to pull him back. You know, naturally he likes, and you see, you have to look at his background. I mean, he was one of 19 children.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I mean, he's got 17 surviving now. And he
had 19 children.
Yes, and he had a very tough beginning. I mean, when you are 19, however well your father is, you struggle.
Yeah.
You understand, to the extent that he used to do some menial jobs, work in farms on holidays, and when he traveled to study in the UK, had to drive as a taxi driver to support his education. Did similar work in Canada when he was doing his studies. So he knows what it means to be in denial. And so he suffered before. And having risen through to become a deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, where we deal with money. And then vice presidential candidate for 2 terms, and then vice president. Up to today, not a speck of debt. That says a lot. And it's that kind of leadership we need. And I do believe when he spoke at UPSA and spoke about leading a new chapter, it's so aligned with what I was talking about, the new dawn. And I could see in a lot of things that he says, the restoring the culture of hard work, meritocracy, professionalism to public services. These are things that align to the things that I believe in. That's why I'm so attracted to him. And I decided, oh, look, I'll work for him and help him, because I think Ghana now, we need to move on a different trajectory. New dimension, new direction. That has to happen. We have to ask ourselves as a country whether we have been our best version as Ghanaians. Not only the politicians. It's easy for people to whip politicians with all the things that they want to do. But I think in Bawumia we have somebody, and I have confidence in him, to be able to change the narrative and change the direction, the trajectory of this country. It means some drastic departure from what we have been used to. And I wasn't surprised. I said I think you don't need more than 54 ministers. He thinks 50. I still think.
But why did you have 54?
I think the 19 cabinet should be just that. Every ministry should be a cabinet ministry.
So you have 19 regular ministers?
Yes, just consolidate all the others into 19, give everybody 1 deputy. I don't see why.
So that takes us 38.
38, and you add the 16 regional ministers, that's 54.
Oh, I see.
That's 54 for me.
1 deputy for finance?
Yes, why not?
They have officers like the UK has.
Finance has simply become a treasury anyway. And I've always never believed in finance becoming a super ministry. I've had disagreements with even the Honorable Osafo when I was press secretary. I don't understand why somebody does work in the Ministry of Health and he has to go through all the payment procedures, and after that, go back to the finance ministry and start another procedure.
Imani have criticized that, and they compare us to Nigeria,
it is wrong.
Where when the budget is allocated to the minister, it is to the minister. If he wants supplementary, he can go to parliament through finance.
So finance has this give me system that has a platform to make sure that, look, when the money comes in from the consolidated fund, pro rata, it goes out. And then finance's job should be to monitor and make sure you didn't budget, you are satisfying all the controls that we need to have.
Like a regulator of sorts.
That's right, of a regulator of sorts. And maybe they add the economic planning function, which is now with NDPC, and it's a bit confusing. But anyway, I think that Bawumia has shown that he's a hard worker. He's prepared to get down to the ground, do some retail campaigning, touch hearts and souls. And that's what it is. People are excited to take selfies with him. The kids, and in the strategy of having this youth connect.
That seems to be working like magic.
Because you see, all political leaders, if you are really genuine and you want to be a good political leader, you should be brave enough to subject yourself to scrutiny. And when he goes and sits in front of students...
How does that work? Sammy Oku was trying to explain, but I didn't get it. When you finish the morning campaign, then every evening in the town, you set aside time for only youth to come and meet with you guys?
Yes. Students, workers, artisans, hairdressers, all the...
So they know that Dr. Bawumia is in town. He's meeting us at 7 at this hall.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are there, they come.
We set it up, they are there, they come in there, and then he delivers a statement. Okay? The vision of transforming a country based on the 4th industrial revolution that this world is in right now, and the digital world that he wants to push this country along, a data-driven society. And the beauty of it is the question and answer session.
Oh, they ask him questions?
Yes, you remember Ness asking him a very difficult question.
What did Ness say?
About the allowance and all that. That time, the allowances have been delayed.
Yeah.
And he promised that, look, he will work hard with the finance minister to release it. And some releases have been made. He admitted that, yes, there have been problems with it, but at least it's better with the government that reinstated it than with someone who cancelled it. So he doesn't only go to lecture people. And when he meets the clergy wherever he goes. Muslim clerics, faith-based organizations, after delivering, he allows them to ask questions. The issues of the LGBT and his views on Very difficult questions are asked. The banking, some.
The banking questions are coming.
I didn't know some of also for
when they had money in
some of these, So and they questioned it, and that kind of thing. So it shows that he's prepared. He's mentally on top of his game. He's very sharp. He has the vitality. Look at the amount of times he's walking around the country. He's very strong, and it shows the confidence of a man to touch every Ghanaian, and it is not regulated. Even the security have a tough time with that, because
trying to manage
all he sees, he catches somebody's eye, he goes there, he shakes the person, and they are all, all over him. And I think that has been good, is dispel the mystique of who political leaders should be. They should be close to the people. You are the vice president, you are the president. You are elected by the people. They give you the power, and you should be close to them. And I think the strategy is working, and the momentum is gaining ground. I suspect the NDC thought it was a done deal for them, because in all this time, they haven't been able to put together a campaign, a sustained campaign. In fact, it's only recently I saw that they had now set up a campaign team. That's over a year after being elected. And so it tells you the state of preparedness. So Ghanaians are watching. They know that he's far more prepared. I mean, this is someone who is in office. You are in a position, and you can't prepare a message to face the Ghanaian people. You can't conduct or prosecute a very efficient, effective campaign around the country. And we have only barely 4 months to elections. So who would they trust with the mandate to efficiently run this country? I do think most Ghanaians would hang their bets on Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Irrespective of the economic situation, irrespective of the fact that they said Akufo-Addo was disappointing, Dr. Bawumia said things that he would do, he didn't do. All of these things keep coming up.
Look, being in government is very tough. And I'm sure Dr. Bawumia would have learned some experience and built some stock of experience from what he's been through. It's not everything that you intend to do that you may be able to achieve when you are in government. You understand that. And the Ghanaian people know that the amount of work that the government has been able to deliver in these very difficult times. And there has been a global crunch. So many people think that it's only in Ghana. But you travel a lot.
No, the Ghanaians abroad tell us.
Yeah, it's very tough outside. I mean, these days when you go out, you can't even shop. Because things that you buy for $40 are now $120. You understand? I mean, inflation in places that was always lower single digit are heading close to double digit. So that is not to say that we couldn't have done things differently. Of course, I'm sure there have been shortcomings, and he realizes it. And I think I would trust him, and I know majority of Ghanaians would trust him, to lead us into this new era, new chapter. Is more important about our values, to restore our values as Ghanaians, and the respect for even governance and democracy. Right now, the confidence that people should have on political leadership has taken a little bit of a beating. You understand? And I think he's the kind of person, he's not materialistic. I've been around him, I know, from his hometown to Tamale. He's not materialistic for someone who's been vice president for close to 8 years. And I have confidence that he's the kind of person.
I'll take text messages. Let me ask you questions people wanted me to ask you about Nalerugo. The ambition of the Bawumia campaign in Nalerugo is that they should get every single vote cast in Nalerugo. Is that possible? That's his hometown.
Every single, no. His hometown is Wale Wale.
Oh, it was sometimes Wale. Oh, Wale Wale, Adam Smith, yes. In Wale Wale, in Wale Wale. But it's in the Nalerugo district or what?
No, Nalerugo is contiguous to...
okay.
Yeah.
So in
Nalerugo, Gambagaga,
yes.
Mumfurugu, Yoyo, and all those are the northeast constituencies.
Northeast constituencies, okay. And their capital is Nalerugo, is it?
I don't think, but...
Wale Wale, they want him to pick up every single vote in
It's
Wale
not
Wale.
possible. He knows that. I mean, he's done a lot of economics and statistics and knows that it's statistically impossible. In fact, Wale Wale has always been a tough seat. It has always been a tough seat.
An NDC area?
It has been till recently. And even now, I mean, it's one of the sore points even currently, because we have a little situation there that we are trying to resolve. So it's not going to be easy. Nobody, at least those of us working with him on the campaign, are not taking any chances. Anybody who thinks in Ghana, Paul, you've been through with this
elections
from 1992, and in Ghana
Split down the middle.
Two-party state. Is the UP and the CPP.
Yeah, still.
The NDC now the CPP. And the UP now the MPP. You understand? And both parties can have 43, NDC 43 guaranteed, MPP normally 48, and then they have to look for that extra to cross the 50. So anybody who talks the way they are talking, they don't know elections. Even with Rawlings, when he was tying our hands behind our backs, he couldn't do those things. So it's always going to be a competitive election in this country, and we are not taking any chances at all. We're going to work very hard to persuade the Ghanaian that they are better off with the MPP. Mind you, Ghana is 67 years after independence. You take out the current term, which will be eventually 8 years, hopefully, President Akufo-Addo completed. Kufuor, 8 years, that is 16. If you add that to Buzia, 2.5, how many years?
18.
18 and a half years. There are those who say that...
No, you have to add a FIFA.
That, I was going to say that. There are those who think that that's a military coup, but...
Okay, 3 years.
Let's give and take that. It was inspired by the UP tradition. That's what people want us to believe.
And Victor Usu was the Attorney General, so fair enough.
Even if you add that, it's 21 years.
Of the UP tradition.
Of 67. And I think that if we had had more time in government...
That tradition,
the UP tradition, this country would have been far away a better place to be. And I think the Ghanaian people deserve to have this tradition run the country for a much longer time. And we have a historic candidate. We've never elected, I don't believe in politics of tribe or politics of religion, but these are hard facts, because these are the propaganda tools that were being used against us in the Zongos.
That you don't like Muslims, you don't like Zongo people?
Yeah, it was there, and they were using it without shame. Now they can't say so again, because our candidate is a Zongo boy from Wali Wali, you understand, and a Muslim to Ad, you understand. So I do believe that he was elected because the party people recognize his hard work and his competence. That's why he was elected, not because of his religion. But in politics, some of these things can add up. So we are battling the NDC in their strongholds.
Well, that's the plan.
Yes, and the Volta region is also very good, because the propaganda against MPP in the Volta region was, just move the ante. I can't talk. But they see Bawumia as also...
Oh, that was the main point in the Volta.
Okay,
building up on Victor Usu's so-called whatever.
Yeah. You understand? So this election of Dr. Bawumia has put to rest that. It shows that the MPP is a very inclusive party, that we don't discriminate, in that even if you're a minority in our party, most of us are Christians in the MPP, but we voted for the Muslim. So that should send a strong message to the country that it is his time. Every season and the leader that pops up, and I'm very confident that he will win this election. It will be tough. It's going to be a struggle, because that's what it is. Our strengths are not the same. I know the MPP has more numbers. Anytime we've won elections, 1,800,000, 700,000, the NDC, when they beat us, is very small. So if we have harmony, cohesiveness at the local level, and that's where I think the party machinery, that's where they should be focusing on. The harmony at the base of the party. Because there's still some issues arising, because a lot of senior people had been defeated at primaries, and it's caused a lot of tensions as we move around. But we try to use the little experience that we have to talk to people, for them to understand that the big picture is the presidency and the party. And as has been said, it's better to be a messenger in a ruling government than be a general secretary in opposition. So for any MPP person, it's time to restore us back to basics, the values that initiated this party at birth. That spirit of dedication, sacrifice, when people were prepared to give something to the party. You look at the elders who gave their all, sold their houses, never got anything back in return. Some even died before 2000. That is the kind of spirit I want to see every MPP person, especially at the polling station level. Work hard, be dedicated. You put yourself up to be a constituency executive, then you should be prepared to sacrifice. My life, my political doctrine has been on what I call the triple S. Prepare to serve your country, prepare to sacrifice for others, and be selfless. Deny yourself. And I think that in Dr. Bawumia, we have someone who can direct this country in that way so that we become a customer-friendly people. You see, our civil services, even our attitude to ourselves, our attitude to work, a lot of things has to change. As Ghanaians, we've got to reposition our thoughts, recalibrate the way we do things as Ghanaians, and not see politics as a piece of cake to be shared by cronies. That has to stop. And some of us, for as long as we are healthy and strong and around, will be advocates for propriety. We have to do things right. I was watching you with the earlier issues about the LI and, you know, the kind of things that people do for political expediency. The blatant lying, you know, when it is clear. Had you not produced that video for people to see? But these are politicians who come out there and then on the altar of political expediency, they are prepared to do anything. That populism does not develop a country.
Because it's for the ballot box.
We need genuine, public-spirited individuals in this country. And I am always trying to advise and prevail on the younger generation coming, that they shouldn't look at one or two bad examples and see that that is the route to political success. That's the trajectory. Build a career for yourself, and then when time comes for you to serve, go in there that you are going to serve. It's service to the public. Politics must be for the public good, not for individuals, aggrandizement. There's been too much of that, and there are things that I personally hate, like selling off state assets to politically connected people. I've never liked it even when I was in government. I never ventured for those things. I dislike it. It is wrong. What belongs to all of us should be held in trust for all of us, not to be parceled off to individuals with political connections. We've got to stand up for the Ghanaian.
I remember in 2008, I don't know whether you remember, one of your friends, I'll mention his name, came to your office in Kanda.
Yeah.
I said, oh, Kabra, the cantonment assassin to baby man, out to go, man, she. And you told me that, look, you've been living at this Legon, you're going to continue to live at this Legon. President Kufuor is not going to be power forever. You want to stay at this Legon. If you find money, you buy something. You're not going to ask government to give you anything.
You see,
I remember that.
We have to build a spirit of contentment in the Ghanaian people. More so we, the politicians.
So you still live at this Legon?
Yes, I still live.
Same place?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I'm comfortable with it. It's a nice, beautiful little...
It's become nicer with the roads. You know, when you were there before,
it was the bush.
It was very bush.
In fact, the then National Security Coordinator, Mr. Francis Poku, I was attacked by armed robbers.
Yes, in the early part of the government.
2001.
Yeah.
He said I should come and live opposite GIS.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay.
I came and looked at it. I said, no, I'm not. I'm going to stay where, that's my own building. If I get sacked, I don't need to pack my things. I'll stay at home. You know, but this is just humor. But I think it's important that we cultivate the new politician. You talk to young people, they have such disrespect for us. It's amazing. Kids in school are being questioned on television, and the things they say about us. Because you, the media, are part of it, you are just putting out information that everybody goes in there to fill their bellies, steal.
No, it's the politicians.
You know,
it's really Joe Gatti has been talking about it. He says that people don't respect politicians because politicians came out to tell people that other politicians are thieves, just so that they gain.
I remember in 2007, the 17 of us.
Yeah.
And I met Asidu Nketia, and he had said, Akrofo Dunso. You remember that?
I remember that, yes.
And I said, Asidu, you don't speak like that. When you speak like that, you denigrate politicians in the eyes of everybody to come back to hunt us. You shouldn't do that. I'm not a thief. I've never stolen a cent of public money. I don't do that.
But
I don't need it.
They say it's for political gain.
You know,
because you watch UK and America, especially the UK, you never hear a UK politician call another MP a thief. Never will they do that.
You remember when I was General Secretary?
Yeah.
And some of our people went to picket John Mahama, then President.
Oh, yes. You got upset.
And I got upset. They said, I've been bought by the NDC.
Yeah.
I said, no, once the president leaves the shores of the country, he represents all of us.
You can't go and do a demonstration.
You can't go and call him a thief in Germany.
No.
I will not accept that.
I remember. It was a big fight.
Yes, and I said, I can't accept that. And I said, I don't want a future President Akufo-Addo
to go somewhere
to
and
be
then
insulted that way.
Yeah.
So when it happened a few years ago, somebody said Prophet Kwabena Agyapong. I said, you see, there's always time for the truth. Let's do well as a country. And I feel that you can live a fulfilled life without being fabulously rich.
Yes, yes, yes.
I've never been fabulously rich, not poor, though. I'm quite okay, I get by.
Oh, but you've not been poor. When we were young, you used to give us food at walk-in.
Yeah, I was hungry,
as
a civil engineer, I was making more money.
We used to come, myself and from Brazil, when we are hungry, we say, let's go to Kala. And then you organize walk-in for us.
Because when you are doing civil engineering, consulting for Bank of Ghana, GASM,
you get something.
Yeah, Ashanti Goldfields, doing big projects, I went into politics to serve, and I want everybody to do so. Yes, you get whatever you deserve.
Yeah.
You'll be compensated. You'll be fine. So you don't need to do the extra things that hurts the economy, that hurts our people. And it's something that I want to be an advocate for the rest of my life, that I remain strong and able. And that's why I'm in this. Decided to stay in the party, unlike some who decided to leave, to support the candidate of our party, because I'm an eternal Democrat. I believe that once the majority have spoken, we've got to respect the majority's decision.
Let me take text messages. People are asking me to ask you questions about Alan Kyerematen. Do you think that they should reach Alan Kyerematen to get him back? Some are asking, do you like the running mate Napo that was done? You were on the stage. And do you support the running mate? What went into the decision of the running mate? But let me go to my ladies and see what text messages they have. Then I'll come to mine, and then we'll go to the next part of the program. Anziba, you first.
Thank you very much, Paul. So from Safiu, she's saying, the man of wisdom is speaking. We have a message from Warisa Kasi saying, tell the man to inform Bawumia about youth in afforestation workers' allowance. If not, we will vote against him. From King Dwani, Engineer Kwabena Agyapong is an astute politician and a patient one for that matter. His loyalty to the party and development of Ghana is unique, hoping to meet, work and learn under his guidance one day. Antoinette, what do you have for us?
Yes, so Engineer Kwabena is still collecting all of his flowers. Alhaji Yusuf says, Kwabena Agyapong is fantastic. When I look back, I feel very embarrassed with regards to the political situation he finds himself in a few years ago. The NPP is dear to his heart. One thing you can't take away from him is that he is not a hypocrite. Kwabena Agyapong is speaking from practical experience. He's on the ground, and for me, it's an honest view of what he sees. I believe he has documented the NDC propaganda, and he will surely deal with it as they engage Ghanaians from the base throughout the country. Abdullah Muntaka says, Kwabena Agyapong is a political institution, an erudite communicator and experienced political strategist, very credible and a huge plus to the Bawumia campaign. And lastly, Ibrahim Abu Zakari says, my boss Kwabena Agyapong, you can disagree with him, be critical of him, but as Kufuor once said, vindication is in the womb of time. Time has vindicated him as a true patriot in every sense of the word. May Allah continue to keep you under his divine guidance and protection so we continue to benefit from your wealth of experience there. Tati.
So this is coming from Safiano Adams, and he says, good evening, Paul. Kwabena Agyapong is such a character, and I've always admired in terms of his depth and eloquent communication and understanding of issues. He is our next chief of staff, no doubt. Coming from Kwabena, and she says, Kwabena Agyapong is the true definition of loyalty, patriotism, and love for the country and the party. Also coming from Papa Jemfi says, Dr. Bawumia has been very strategic by bringing Mr. Kwabena Agyapong on board. Very experienced politician who has lots to offer. Now, lastly, coming from Mustafa Abubakar, says, a man of wisdom, patience, and tolerance. God bless you, Honorable. Now back to you, Paul.
Okay, so I have text messages here. The first one says that, please ask Kwabena Agyapong, he's a man of wisdom. Does he think that the way Alan Kyerematen's campaign is going, should we just call him back and say, Chief, the thing's not working, come and join us? Okay, then another one says that he was on the stage when Napo was being introduced and outdoored to the people. Ask him what went into the running mate's choice. Also ask him that, no, it says also tell him that the account he gave about the NDC calling the MPP a tribal party now shifts back directly to the NDC. Why have they never had an Asante at the helm of their party when Asante is at least 30% of the Ghanaian population? And John Mahama did not have an Asante as is in the cabinet for 2 years, the first time it happened since Kwame Nkrumah's government. Can the NDC answer that question? Who is more tribalistic? Okay. Another one says that, I've heard Community Japan make this sports narrative before. It's very, very important. Even when I was growing up in the 80s, the children were allowed to go to the Accra Stadium free. I don't know what happens now. We really need to get back some of the old clubs. Ebusian Dwarfs. He says, Nana Sambru Badla is still alive. I'm sure he's your friend.
Yes.
What is he doing with Dwarfs? He and his family have done a lot of good work for Dwarfs. Bubala is Dwarfs, not Vipers, eh?
It's Dwarfs.
He's certainly Dwarfs, okay.
Kujua Lata was Vipers.
He said, ask Community Japan whether he remembers Nana Fitz.
Of course.
And if he says the club, then I'll clap for him.
Nana Fitz?
Yes. Which club was he?
Nana Fitz, I think it's 11 White.
No, it's Cornerstones.
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 My friend.
Say Nana Fitz in Kumasi.
Kumasi,
yeah.
Maybe we have to divert to football a bit.
No, please don't. We need to do the political questions.
Cornerstones was for the migrants.
Yes.
All the Fantis, the Zonas, Gas, Ewes.
They were all corners.
Yes.
Against Asante Kotoko.
Against the indigents. You come to Accra, it's a similar thing. The Gamashi area was Hasselfolk.
Yeah.
And then you go to Eastern Accra, Olympics.
Okay.
And all those.
Teshi Dungwa.
That kind of thing. The same in Cape Coast. Ebusian Dwarfs for the indigents and Vipers for the settlers.
Oh, I see.
You go to
in Sekendi, who are the indigenous Hazakas?
Indigenous Wise. No.
Oh, indigenous rather Wise.
Yes, Hazakas is for those who had come to.
Oh, the Asantis and all
then
those
Mr.
people.
Nati, the girls who were doing
they were Hazakas
and all that. Yes, they were Hazakas. So it was an interesting social mesh.
Very, very, very.
Yeah, that we used.
Engineer Kwabena Japan knows almost all the political situations in Ghana. I'm happy that he has joined the DMB campaign. And he gives hope that we can win 2024. That's for Master Planner Junior in Kintampo. Okay, let's start with the first question. Alan Chamatin's campaign is not going well. Do you think
I don't want to pass a comment on that.
I don't know why he says that. I don't know whether it's not going well.
I don't want to pass it. And again, I take friendships very seriously. I've had a very long brotherly relationship with Alan Chopin. He's like a big brother to me.
Oh, I see.
You understand? We are very close. We've been very close. I disagree with the decision to leave because I think for something that we've all built with our sweat and toil for over 30 years, and he was the president of the Young Executive Forum at the very beginning and all that. So, and we all took part in this election. I didn't see anything that went so seriously wrong with the election. It's just that I didn't get much of a vote. He had a bit much more than me, but couldn't make it. So I thought he should have just accepted it, and then, as a true Democrat that I know he is, should have worked with the winner of the election, which is Dr. Bawumia. But he's an adult. So we can, but we are friends once in a while. I saw him the last time at a function not too long ago. We had a little chat. I'm sad that he's not with us, but I don't want to comment on that. I really, truly don't want to comment on that. And it hurts me that he's not with the MPP because I think he played such a big role at the formative years of this party. And having served as the party has also given him a big...
He's the longest trade minister.
Trade minister in the country. Cumulatively.
6 years, 8 years.
Cumulatively about 11 years. And then ambassador for close to 2 years. So if you're talking about the party also,
the party has given him...
provided him a platform. I think he also has to be grateful to the party. It works both ways. And for me, I was disappointed in that decision, but he's still I consider him a friend and a brother. And I think it will remain so. We will disagree politically. I don't think an independent candidate can do much in Ghana. It's not easy to run a campaign. It is not easy to run a presidential campaign. So I knew that it would be tough to go the full hog, and somewhere along the line you may lose steam because the resources.
So when you're going to the campaign, if you can get viewers a bit more information, who is waiting for you there at Bimbilla? Is it the constituency chairman? Is it the MP? Who is waiting?
No. I mean, you mobilize your people.
So some have gone ahead.
Some, yes. I mean, there's a campaign structure. You don't want me to give you all
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
details.
saying. As much as you can.
We have a department of advances.
I see.
Yes. I mean,
so it's a full operation.
It's a
major one.
It's a mighty operation.
But that's expensive.
It's very expensive. It's expensive.
Wow.
Even me on my own, running a shoestring presidential campaign, the one I did, decimated all my savings. You know?
I see.
You know.
What is the money spent on?
No, I mean, look, you have to look at the people. Of course, they say that you need some people around you, some senior people. It communicates well. The optics good.
Yes.
For the party that, look, we are all rallying around our candidate. People have to sleep in hotels. They have to ride in vehicles. The vehicles have to be powered by fuel.
You have a bus?
Yes.
Talk about me as a bus?
Yes.
But you have to fuel it.
The bus itself is expensive, isn't it?
There's air conditioning in it.
Of course, there is. You know, the bus is better because, but you know, there are certain parts of the country that the bus can't go. So, for instance, when we were going to Chirpone and Bumpurugu and Yoyo, we had to get four-wheel drives for that. But if you are in most of the country now, because of the work that the NPP has done, I mean, the 168 kilometers from Tamale, Yendi, Zabzugu, Tatale, right to the Togolese border start.
Oh, wow.
For the first time in those days. I mean, Salaga.
That's massive.
In Salaga, you know, this one I can't say it, but there was someone who was, when I was running President Akufo-Addo's campaign then in 1998, one of our coordinators now is a very big chief, so I don't want to mention the name, but he used to appear in Tamale fully brown because it was dust all over.
I see.
I mean, from Tamale to Salaga, through Palbe to Salaga, was hell. Even now, we still have about maybe 8 to 9 kilometers to Salaga, still undone, even today, as we are talking. You know, but we had to do all that. And that should be the breadbasket of Ghana. You should look at the plains, you know, that area that should be able to supply all our needs agriculturally. You know, so running a campaign and you have to visit.
So you need money, you need people who are dedicated to it. They are working on it 24/7. They have to be intelligence people.
You need logistics.
Yeah.
You need flyers, you need posters, you need flags. T-shirts are now very expensive. You need a lot of.
Do you pay the people who attend?
No, you don't do
the large crowd, the Youth Connect.
You can't do that.
There are a lot of people.
You can't do
So how are they motivated? Do you give them juice, orange juice?
No. Orange juice? I would have to check with the
logistics people.
The logistics people. But no, I don't think. I think maybe I've seen people distribute water.
Yeah.
I've seen people distribute water and all that. That's what you do. But of course, I mean, sometimes as we were going around, you give transport. Not to them. I'm talking if you meet a dedicated group and you have to invite somebody to come and listen, you may have to support his transport. I did so as a candidate, you know, and that has been done from a Dubois days. So it's part of it. I mean, so it's very expensive.
So now that you're all in Accra, is it a 2 days break? Is it 1 day break? What is it?
I don't know whether I'm allowed to say, but it's cabinet time.
Okay.
So today is Thursday.
Yeah.
So cabinet, I think it's cabinet. So that's why he's here. I think he had some duties on police council yesterday. So as he's still the vice president.
Yes, of course.
He's having to walk a very interesting road because he's both the candidate and the vice president. So he's trying to reduce a lot of his official vice presidential functions and concentrate on the ticket, which is more dear to his heart now.
At this stage,
yeah. So that's why I think on Sunday we'll be back, going to Savannah, the other parts of Savannah.
Oh, you're still in the north. So you're going to clean up the whole north before you start descending.
Not all, but most of it.
Okay.
So I mean, we have a template. And maybe I shouldn't say it.
No, don't say
our colleagues.
Don't say it.
You know,
wow. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is the running mate. What went into the choice?
But Paul, you know that the choice of a running mate is the sole prerogative of the candidate.
Yeah, but after he's done it, he probably must have shared with you the inner campaign people.
That is not something I want to share with you. I mean,
okay, I get it.
He called me and had a discussion and said he had settled on Napo. So I called Napo to congratulate him even before the matter came out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, because as soon as I had a discussion with the candidate and he had decided that this is the decision he has taken. And that's fine. I mean, that is his decision. I will advise him, share a lot of insights, but the decision lies with him. That is his
But you're also like Kumasi boy. That's the truth.
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
This is my secret. Give us P capsules. Pema wa ho din ko from now on to me to my din won pem. Give us P capsules. Obedu ase mama. Ono eneme lawyer.
Anti wo lawyer no na she obotom. Ayi bro. Ede na pono me sin ba be chia mo a ese ni die.
Busano.
No. You get if you are coming. A friend give us cold capsules. Say yes, is yare na wo so. Ko di do ni pedem wani na wo posa amamman enti ma wunja wo nan yi. Wonum give us cold capsules ah. Obey free.
Lawyer,
give us cold capsules.
And I give us P capsules.
Hey, and they give us free.
Obey Chinasuma.
Men what if you do what you do cronkwan efa. Give us core capsules. A painful a batter one more menu for one kwada when if you do me nunca.
Get blast boom exclusively on Betway. Win up to 300% more when you play FlyX with Win Boost from Betway. Betway, get way more.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth and fresh breath.
I'm afraid Missy Way.
The Pacho Bantama.
Machasi.
It's her smile, the fresh breath.
Me Gidi said we use Kel 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Kel 360 toothpaste.
Guys, here, Kel 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector. Onim jom kasa.
Kile kosen. Kel 360 did the way. It's cool mint, gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
And you will see so feeling kika when you know Kel 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Kel 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
712
Here is to the friends who took the chance with no regrets. Investors no more hating fortune. To the health workers who diagnosed blacks every move. And then to the hard guy who couldn't hold his emotions. To the passionate fan who couldn't contain his joy. To the seamstress who turned her hand-earned stitches into a bundle of joy. And now, here is to you. Your next big win is right here. From 1st July 2024, dial *712# across Swallow tickets as a group individual to win in the community draw or the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with *712#.
By the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
Oh, hallelujah. Praise God. Christianity is not a religion, neither is it a joining of a church and doing the Christian things like praying and giving and so on. Hallelujah. Christianity is the outworking of God's